Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your refined host, Teddy W.
Huh.
Jenkins, and with me is
Huh.
my other host,
Fine, host.
fine host.
Yes.
But you're not refined, are you? I'm refined. And also, you don't have an
Yeah,
initial
sure.
in your name, like me,
Uh, yeah,
Teddy
I do.
W. Jenkins.
I had three initials in my name. SSS. Oh no, SOS. My bad. SOS is my initials.
That was terrible. That was
SOS.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, you should listen to yourself more often. Then you hear something even stupider.
Says the one who didn't spend money on Warframe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're freaking great, aren't you?
Yes. All right. So this podcast is going to be a little bit different than the ones that we normally do because it's not a review like we usually do. We decided to do something a little bit different, mainly because Slow Spawn was so kind as to not watch one of the movies that he had the choice of watching because
I forgot both the names.
are you
He told them to
serious?
me in a call, and
That's
then
why you
he
didn't
left,
watch either one
and
of
then I
them.
messaged him. Yeah,
Okay,
you told me the names. I forgot the names,
seriously.
and then I said what movies in the chat because we ended the call.
They were the
You're gone.
most like creative names for
No,
any
it's fun.
movies.
I remember one is Interstellar. I don't know the other one now.
No, neither one of them was Interstellar. You
Oh,
sad,
well, good thing I
sad
didn't
little
watch Interstellar.
man. Yeah. Dude, it would have been terrible if
This
we had
is your
started
fault.
this podcast and then you had said, so yeah, so Matthew McConaughey is flying through space and there's Matt Damon's in it too and I'm just like, what? And then it's like, well, the movie that we were supposed to watch. Okay, anyway,
Oh my
we've
God.
just been rambling. Um we're gonna be talking about our
Yes,
best
yes, we are.
favorite fictional universes, aren't we? However,
See?
there's two very sad things that we need to talk about first, though.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
This past week, David Bowie and Alan Rickman have passed away, and you want to tell them the grisly details?
No. Why would I want to say that?
There's
It
really no
sucks.
grisly details. They both, I mean, they died of. Is dying of cancer like really terrible?
I mean, it's not painful, I don't assume, because it's your body basically shutting itself down, I feel like,
But
because
doesn't that
it's your
happen when you
cells.
pass away? Like your cells deteriorate to the point where
That's
they
your
can't.
heart. That's your heart. No, no, that's your heart just stopping because it can't go on
No,
anymore.
no, no. But the reason like you get old and stuff is because your cells stop regenerating. That's why like I
Dude, your cells don't regenerate.
are you
The only cell that regenerates, I think, is like your liver.
dude are you
Like
no
obviously
like
there's
okay
skin cells and
your
stuff.
skin regenerates. That's what makes you look young. Otherwise, you would be a decrepit
Okay, I'm
skeleton.
either a freaking genius or I'm stupid as
I'm
crap right
pretty
now.
sure
So we're
you're
gonna just move
stupid.
on. This is
Because
not the science
okay, no, no,
podcast.
no, no.
We
Think
will
about
do the
it. No, no,
science
no. I want to
podcast
tell you
later.
this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you
No.
this. All right, think about it. All right, that's why a baby looks so young, is because and their skin is so perfect, is because they're at the point where their skin cells are regenerating as rapidly and fast as they ever will. And that's why as you get older, that's why you get wrinkly and your skin doesn't look as good and stuff like that because that's your body not replenishing those cells as fast as they used to, and eventually it just can't maintain itself and dies. Your heart doesn't just magically stop.
No,
There's
it doesn't
a
magically stop. It grows old and dies. It's okay. First of
dude.
all,
Okay,
not
okay.
science podcast. Let it go. No, not
You
science.
realize how insane you sound saying your heart just gets old and dies. That doesn't.
It
Okay,
doesn't. No, that's not how your heart doesn't die. It just stops.
okay,
It's like it
okay,
slows
okay.
and
Forget what he's
cease
saying,
beating.
people. He doesn't know science.
I'm a
Do
freaking
you?
genius. I'll have
No,
you
no,
know.
you don't. No, you aren't. Anyway, okay, so let's start with you. What's one of your favorite? If you could live in a fictional universe, which would it be? Just so I can restate the topic. What's one of the fictional universes that you would love to live in, and why?
DC Comics, obviously. DC
Really?
Comics
That's
universe.
is that really the
Dude,
okay? Now here's the other thing. You can choose to be anyone in the universe that you're speaking of, or you can take the
and be
position.
freaking Superman with it.
Well, let's say that you
I
can
would be
take
Superman.
the yeah.
I
We'll
would
say that you
study
can take the
Batman.
position of. So, for instance, you could be whoever you wanted to, or live wherever you wanted to. So, you want to be Superman? Is
Well,
that
well, now that I think about it, let me hear me out. The issue with being Superman right now, he doesn't have his powers. He like got screwed over by some Illuminati people.
wait, really?
That's really wrong. Yeah.
But okay, here's the other thing.
So
Superman gets messed up a lot, more than any other
yeah, that's what I'm
superhero. I
worried
mean,
about.
besides like Batman, Superman gets messed up a ton. Like, think about how many times. Like, okay, think about this. Think about every time that something bad happens, you're expected to go fix it. Okay, let's say it snows and people can't get to work. People will blame you for not melting all the ice. Or
I guess.
there's a
I
cat in
mean,
a tree. Or, for instance, all right, look at it this way. If a building burns down and the fire department can't, save it or whatever, you're to blame. And everyone can rightfully blame you because you can do anything pretty much. Like, if you don't, then what kind of a person are you, you know?
okay, then I'll be Batman. Well, no, Batman gets screwed up a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be, well, Deadman can't really feel anything. Crap, dude.
You know who I would
Can I
be? You know
just be
who I would?
like,
Okay, if this was DC we're talking about, I would be Aquaman. You know why?
oh my gosh.
Okay, now you know why? Here's why, all right? A, you're a king. You rule
Mm,
the entire ocean. So literally think about this.
mm-hmm.
You know how every time Aquaman has gotten mad and come to the surface and been like, "Hey, stop polluting the water," or "Stop doing this or that
Right.
with the oceans." Like, you can just be like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna just freaking send an army of crabs to come kill all you or something. You know? Like, he could do that. He doesn't have to be like, and that's the thing. He owns the majority of the world. Think about that. You're the owner of most of the planet. And also, here's the other thing. You're basically as strong as Superman and as durable as him. Because, okay, now here's the thing is that I've heard a bunch of people say that why it is that Aquaman is so durable is because if he can live at the bottom of the ocean where the pressure is so high,
Yeah.
then that means that
Water pressure.
then that means he's as durable as Superman. And
Okay,
also,
while we're talking about that, I want to bring up a topic. That
okay,
reminds me of a book I read called Dark Life. And what it was, I just want to say this, but what it was, it's a book about basically these pioneers and basically global warming happening. Water was everywhere. So these people made like underwater bubble houses. And their kids grew up with abilities and basically they use them to help the world. And it's really interesting on how that story goes.
sounds like
But I
Captain
just wanted to point
Planet.
that out. I know, but it's funny because it's the water pressure that's affecting them that messes with them, and I thought it was really
Oh,
interesting.
that's
One of them
interesting.
had sonar, another like had eel, like had an electric eel's abilities, like they could shock people.
Yeah.
Another was
This sounds just like a
there were so
90s
many
cartoon,
things.
man. That sounds just like a
Yeah, but
90s
it was
cartoon.
really good. No, 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 the
Awesome.
way it happened though, it was really realistic because they talked about the science of the bubble too. I thought it was great, dude.
Hmm. Interesting. But yeah, I think that's the thing with superheroes. You got to think very carefully about who you would want to choose because if you, for instance, right, it's a lot of people want to say, "I'd people love to be Batman." Well, that means you got to say, okay, every time that something happens to Batman, I want to be in that situation. I mean, like, think about all the
And
times that
oh my
Batman's been
god.
tortured.
I know. Well, you remember that time where Joker, this is like not even spoilers because this has been happening for so freaking long. But when Joker stole Mr. Spitlick's powers and he like ruined the universe, so Batman he kept on killing him and then bringing him back.
Oh yeah, are you telling me about that episode in Batman: The Brave and the Bold?
No, no, this was in the comics.
Oh, was this in a
Like it sucked
comic?
for
Huh.
yeah. He stole
Interesting.
Mr. Spitlick's powers. Oh, it must have freaking sucked for him.
Yeah, okay. There's also that time though when like I don't I think this is in like Infinity Crisis. I haven't even read that book by the way. I just heard people talk about it, and where in that Batman, get this, he gets tortured by making him live the life of every one of his ancestors and so he's killed like
Oh yeah,
every
by
single time.
Darkseid. I
Yeah,
remember
and
that.
so he's like a bat caveman. It's like every one of his ancestors has been Batman, and it's like a Batman samurai and Batman, it's like crazy stuff. And then he has to live the lives of all those people until he gets back to being Batman. I mean, who would want that?
Which didn't make any sense, but you know
It
what?
didn't.
Whatever.
I think also in that though that like Superboy punches a hole through the universe. I think so. Nothing
No,
really
he
makes.
breaks reality with his hands.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
that's Superboy, who was at like half of his strength.
yeah. So
So,
what can
yeah.
Superman do? Punch a hole through two universes? ah. Anyway, okay. So one of mine. I'm gonna. All right. So this one's an interesting one. All right, and we'll each probably do like three that we'll do. Um, my
Okay.
first one is The Simpsons. Or well, okay. Let me ask you this: should it be The Simpsons or should it be Futurama? I can't think of which one is better.
Do both, dude. They're freaking funny.
Okay, let's say we'll just combine those into one because they're made by the same creator and they're basically very similar to one another. You know what? No, Simpsons, because more crazy stuff happens. I think in Simpsons. I think with the thing that would make Simpsons life cool. A, you're constantly yellow. Like think about that. Your skin is just
Yeah.
yellow. Think about this also.
No one would judge
You
anyone.
think about this though. Well, there are a couple people that are actually like there's one character named Apu, who is an Indian dude who talks just like an Indian dude. And so I mean like he's like the only one though. There are a couple others who are like, there's there are some black people and some really pale people, but mostly yellow. That's mostly the
Okay.
color. Um, think about this also. You're a cartoon. You could go freaking jump off a cliff and you're fine. You
Well,
never
I
like
mean,
think,
people die in the
but
cartoon.
okay, in like Simpsons, think about how many times like somebody like Homer or Bart or any one of those people has like been brutally murdered and then just been fine. So many times. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's. I think that would be one really cool thing is that you would just kind of. You could say that you would go insane at that point though, where you could never die. But
Oh, yeah.
like you feel the pain, but you still can't die, and everything. Like, well, I feel like here's the other thing, because The Simpsons is so like, I suppose meta is the word, that you would know you're in a cartoon. Also, you
Oh,
think
yeah.
that
So
you
you're gonna be
think
like Deadpool.
yeah,
Yeah.
which may not be super awesome because then you realize that everything that's happening is for the enjoyment of others. Um, but let's not look at it that way. Let's look at it as though it's just living the life of the Simpsons. Um,
Right.
I think though that there's a number of awesome benefits. A, you'll never get bored. Like think about how much weird,
Oh,
crazy stuff happens. That's the most unboring town ever. You know, it's like one day. And you know what's weird is that it's like every episode spans about a day, usually. You know, so it's like
yeah.
every day a superhero could come, an alien invasion could happen, the moon could explode, you could be attacked by Godzilla. Like anything could happen. Anything. You can just wouldn't that be pretty cool, you think? To just live it like where you never know what's gonna happen. There is no I will say this though that it might get boring after a while. Do you think you would get bored living The Simpsons forever?
Dude, no. I mean, well, you live forever, so that's hard to say, but I don't think so.
I think here's the thing though, is that I would. Mm, I think I would prefer to be if I had to choose one of those cartoons. I guess you could call it like the crude humor cartoon, or is it like the adult cartoon? What is it more? What's that genre? Because I mean, it can't just be animated. I mean, it can't just be. Is it just animation, or is there a specific genre that it's in?
No, no, dude. No, no. Well, I think I'm not sure. I think animation, no.
Okay, but anyway, if you were in one of those
Yeah,
kinds of
animation is
cartoons,
a genre.
I'm saying I know that, but I thought there was some kind of other
Okay,
genre
so
for
for
like
doing the animation,
no, but like okay, you know how like anime is a form of animation, right? Like that's a genre of
yeah.
itself. I thought there was like there must be some kind of genre for those cartoons that are like for adults that are like comedies, like stuff like Family Guy and Futurama and is there no maybe there isn't, I don't know. Maybe it's all just called
Mature
animation.
animation.
That might be what it
I'd
is.
assume it's titled mature animation, but
Yeah.
that's just a
They
guess.
probably wouldn't want to call it crude animation. Like crude humor animation or something like that cuz then it's like, oh, well, it implies that we're
Right.
bad. Um but anyway, like think about all those other cartoons that are similar to that. Is there any one of those you would really want to be in? Like, okay, I would hate being in South Park because in South Park, I mean,
Oh,
I haven't
it's
watched it
so
before.
repetitive.
But here's the thing, I haven't watched it before. But isn't everybody just a jerk? And isn't everything just messed up?
Well, basically, everyone's really gullible besides like all the 8-year-olds, which is really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, even in
That's
okay,
basically
so
all the world is.
yeah, and I mean, in most of those, maybe Futurama would be better than The Simpsons because in Simpsons, most of the adults are stupid, but like Bart isn't very stupid, and like
Right.
Lisa and characters like that. But and like in like Futurama, there's really no children in that. It basically revolves around Fry, Bender, and oh gosh, how can I forget her name? Taranga Leela. Yeah, that's her name. Okay, for a second I forgot, but it basically revolves around that. You know, like so, and they're all kind of. But although in that it's kind of like, okay, all of them except the one girl are dumb. You know, which I suppose would also not be very fun. Uh, ah, what do you think? Which do you think would be better, Futurama or The Simpsons?
I'd probably say Futurama because I watch a lot more of that. And also, I mean, no one dies in
In oh
Futurama,
yeah,
if
in
you ever
Futurama
noticed.
nobody really dies. Also, although the only reason that I said The Simpsons may be better is because Simpsons isn't limited to only sci-fi. Simpsons
Right.
could have anything. It could have superheroes. It could have it could have an action thriller. It could be horror. It could be anything really. Um, I will say though that if you were in Futurama, you get to hang out with people like Bender. I mean, I mean, then you gotta admit. I mean, I gotta admit, Bender is really really funny. Is a really funny character.
Bender's so freaking
He is,
funny.
and dude, he's so like I love his design most of all. I love his design. The idea that he just has a little antenna and like a little like a basically a cabinet in his chest, and I just I think that's hilarious. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think both of them would be fun. I think both Futurama and Simpsons would be wonderful places to live. Uh, anyway, what's your next one?
Uh, well, I know it's another comic universe. It's
Marvel.
obviously gonna be Marvel. Yeah, but my answer because of our past conversation would be Deadpool. Just for the sake of I know what was going on. I'd be like, all right, I can't die.
And
I'm in a comic. Life's freaking great.
and the other thing about Deadpool is that Deadpool really doesn't feel pain like everyone else does. Like Deadpool's the only character that really doesn't feel. feel pain. Well, what if this though? This would be interesting. What if you chose to be the Watcher and you just got to basically see comic books happen?
Yeah, I never understood what the race was about, and I really don't want to think about it because it hurts my brain.
Um, let me think. Is what about if you were Galactus? You just get to run around and eat planets.
Didn't they like transport him to a different dimension where it's
Who
like nothing but
cares? I mean,
matter,
dude,
antimatter or something, so he
dude, it'll
can.
always go back to Galactus. You know, like there's certain things that'll always return. Okay, Marvel will always go back to being the way it was. You know, like 2 years ago or whenever. Um, it's just a matter of when. Because right now they've just changed or something like that. I wouldn't want to be Spider-Man, even though I really love Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is
Dude, he
basically
gets messed up so hard.
he
Oh,
really
he's
does.
Marvel's punching bag.
He's
He's
basically
like,
the
what character
equivalent
gets
of
screwed over the most?
yeah. Although I gotta say I wouldn't want to be Iron Man either. Iron Man's life is pretty bad too. Even though you're a millionaire, you still got to deal
Yeah,
with
I think, yeah.
like when he became an alcoholic, or his total arrogance towards every living being. Being Captain America might not be bad though. You get to be a selfless, kind human being that's really awesome, and you're a symbol.
I guess he died though.
Yeah, but he's
So
but he's back now, and he. I mean, oh, that wait, he die again?
no, in the comics, I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying, did he die again? Because Falcon is Captain America right now, right?
No, I don't think. No, I don't know, dude.
Okay,
Marvel, I
let's.
don't.
You know what?
Marvel hurts my brain. They're
Yeah,
doing
but
Secret Wars, and that's like them on Battle World, and everything's going to crap because Doom's a jerk. And ugh.
I gotta say though, what about this? Think about this. What if you were in the Marvel Zombies universe?
Oh, dude, that's not even. No,
Think
it's
about how
screwed
crazy
over
that
so
would be,
hard.
though. I mean,
Then
think
you're an
about
evil
that.
zombie, and you.
No, no, but you don't have to be because you can choose to be whoever you want. Like,
I'd
what
be a
if you
zombie
chose to?
because the zombies win.
Yeah,
People always die.
but then there's like good zombies. Remember? Did you read Marvel Zombies 2 or just one?
Yeah, 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 I know. They came to their senses after not eating people for so long, but still.
I see your point, but you gotta admit, getting to be a zombie, kind of cool a little bit, and you're a superhero zombie. I mean, you gotta admit that's a little bit cool, just a little. Maybe not desirable, but a little cool. Um,
Right. Also, people hate you because you look weird, and that's sort of. Actually, I think that's technically racist. You're racist. What would be racist against zombies? I mean, you can't. Well, can you call it? Yeah, I guess just be
I mean,
called
they're
racist.
all technically pale, so you can't say like they're black any or
No, no, no. You're
Asian.
racist against the zombies. Okay, if you don't like zombies, you're just racist. It's obvious.
Yeah.
No,
Suppose you could.
it's not the skin color. It's the degrading skin. It's the lack of skin.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Oh man. Mm.
We're freaking geniuses, by the way. Anyone listening, you're listening to the most intelligent conversation it had.
Yeah, yeah, of course, absolutely. They totally are. Don't listen to him. He spews lies. Um. Okay, now I have an interesting one. Okay. By the way, have you been timing this at all?
Yes.
Okay. How are we good on time?
Let me see. Yeah, we're pretty good. We get
Okay.
20 minutes basically.
All right. Okay. What about Mortal Kombat?
Uh,
Because
hmm.
okay,
I
so
don't know, dude. I told you I haven't played Mortal Kombat. So.
no, but look at it this way, all right? What if we okay? So if you could be any character in Mortal Kombat, who's always someone who wins every single time in Mortal Kombat?
I told you I don't play Mortal Kombat.
You don't play Mortal Kombat, you piece of garbage. You need to play Mortal
No,
Kombat.
I I played Nintendo
Wait,
until I
okay,
was
wait, wait,
12,
wait,
and
wait,
then I
wait, wait,
started
wait, wait,
playing
wait,
sim
wait, wait.
games.
Hang on,
So there's no Mortal Kombat in my life.
I want to retract the idea of Mortal Kombat because I have a much, much better idea.
Good for you.
Yes, you want to know what it is?
What?
Pulp Fiction. What about
Okay,
have
explain to me why.
you ever seen Pulp Fiction before?
Uh, no.
Okay,
You're so
so
judgmental. Don't even. Just don't. Just keep going. Not a word.
okay, so the reason for Pulp Fiction is because hold on, is Pulp Fiction really a good idea? Hmm.
Dude, do whatever your heart desires.
Yeah,
Okay?
but there's so. Oh
Basically,
wait, no, no, no. I know the
you,
one. Okay, I actually had made up an idea before, and I remember it now. Star Trek,
that would be cool.
because a here's the thing, all right, and I would choose to be the captain of one of the Enterprise starships. I wouldn't. Okay, um, which one do you think would be the best? Which captain do you think would be the best to be? I think Picard.
Kirk?
Why Kirk though? Is Kirk really that good? Okay,
Because
think about
dude,
that.
Kirk has done nothing but prove that he's like crazy
I
throughout the
know.
entire Star
That's what
Trek
I'm
saga.
saying. Like all the other captains, they've done a great job. They've used strategy and planning and diplomacy. They've been smart and used their heads. But like Kirk is just like, oh, you don't want to let me come onto your planet? All right, fire the laser nukes.
Fire the nukes. Drop
Fire.
the nukes. They're different.
I know, right? But I always felt like Captain Kirk was more lucky than anything. I always felt like he didn't necessarily have like like strategy. I always feel like that's what Spock was for. Like he was to make up for the fact that Kirk was basically just lucky every single time. You know, like Spock was there to be
He
like
was.
like Spock was always there to be like, I think we should do this, and then Kirk would be like, okay, do that. You know, or Kirk would just magically know what to do for no real reason. Like when, okay, for instance, um, Wrath of Khan. All right, Captain Kirk figures out that Khan fights in like a two-dimensional plane. Which, okay, by the
Okay.
way, who in their right mind is supposed to be like this brilliant warrior strategist and only thinks on a like two-dimensional plane in strategy? Like, tell me how you get to be so reputable, but you only look at things two-dimensionally. That's like the opposite of being good at being a good strategist. Like, okay,
Wait, what would it
Alex,
be if you look at things four-dimensionally, though? Would you like see the numbers of like air pressure and all that,
I,
like the
I
math
don't
behind
even
everything?
know.
That's what I'm thinking. We're freaking geniuses because we just came up with that four-dimensional sight. You're seeing everything, every measurement of everything,
see,
every
see,
temperature,
see. All
everything.
Khan needed to do is to win was just see in four dimensions, and he would have won.
Exactly. He needed to
But
know the air temperature.
but you see my point is that Kirk. Okay, the only reason Kirk won against Khan was because he was like, okay, let's just go up, over, and behind Khan, shoot at him, and then rinse and repeat, and he just won't know what to do. Who thinks like that? How do you? Okay, like Alexander the Great could have thought up a better plan. Like, okay, if you had just magically transported Alexander the Great to his seat without any knowledge of what's happening, I imagine he could have figured it out. Right? I mean,
Probably. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think
I
he could
completely
figure
agree.
out pretty quickly this is a ship and we're in something and our enemy is over there. And he, like somebody just all somebody would need to do really is just tell him, okay, we're on a ship. There's our enemy and we can fly like a bird. Like you don't really need to explain much more. I think also with somebody like Alexander the Great, I think he would just be like, like he's gone to so many places and done so many crazy stuff. I think he'd just be like, all right, like he wouldn't really just like he wouldn't question it. He'd just be like, okay, let's kill them, so that way I can figure out what's going on. Not
Right.
like, no, no, let's run away. Like somebody like Alexander the Great isn't gonna do that. But yeah, but okay. Back to why Star Trek would be cool is because ultimately, okay, of course I would want to be Picard because Picard is the best captain, in my opinion. Uh, and it's just the idea of getting like you get to think about how many different things you get to see as a spaceship captain, as a the captain of the Enterprise. You get to go to
Lots of stars. You got to see lots and lots of freaking
but
stars.
you get to go and meet so many. It's even. I mean, even the intro of the every Star Trek show has been to boldly go where no man has gone before. It's like it's that idea that you're discovering something that's like we don't get that today. Like pretty much everything on the planet that could be discovered, we have discovered before. Like there's not many places that no man has ever set foot on before. You know, like I just think that would be the coolest thing to get to say that you found something that no one ever knew about. Oh, also,
Yeah.
okay. Also, I didn't know this. Do you know that Captain Picard has his own maneuver? Like starship maneuver?
No.
Yeah, so okay, get this, all right. I was watching this. It was some kind of like a let's play of a Star Trek game, and the game had all these like information on the characters and stuff like that. So Picard has a
But he
maneuver.
patented a maneuver. He
Well, not
patented
not
a
but
maneuver.
not necessarily patented it, but it's like like when they're teaching starship maneuvers in Starfleet Academy or wherever, they're like this is
Right, right.
and it's called the Picard maneuver. So get this, right? The maneuver is where you jump to light speed for half a second and then come out and then fire your lasers right. No, no, no. Okay, here's what it is that you fire your lasers, then go to light speed for half a second, then fire your lasers again, and it makes it seem to your opponent like you've shot two shots in two different places. So the idea is that when they shoot back at you, you're not there anymore. That's
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. I mean,
I think so, yeah. That
yeah, and
reminds
it's
me of something that happened in the Star Wars movie, and I'm not even gonna say anymore because they're gonna be like, "You just spoiled the entire
well,
movie."
that's not a. You're talking about when they. I'm just gonna say, okay, go see the Star Wars movie.
That hold on, spoiler alert. Okay,
Spoiler
because
alert.
the movie has been out forever,
Yeah, but it's not. This
so
isn't a
suck it up
major.
if you
This isn't a
haven't.
major spoiler. This is just like a thing that Han Solo does. You're talking about when Han
Yeah,
Solo goes into hyperspace while
yeah,
inside
yeah.
of the ship, which, by the way, that's really cool. And I love the
No,
line
he does
though.
it. He does it, and then he's trying to get past the defenses of like the new Death Star, or whatever the crap they're
Oh yeah,
calling it
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And basically, what he does, he goes at light speed and then stops right at the surface of the planet, so that the guns can't shoot him or
Yeah.
detect them. That's freaking genius.
I was talking about when he
That'd be
goes to
crazy.
hyperspace inside of the ship, which also is really cool. Um, I love though that when that's happening, he says the line when somebody asks him, "Is that even possible?" And he says, "I never asked that question until after I've done it," which is the perfect Han Solo
Oh yeah,
line ever.
I remember that.
Next to when he
The
says, next
writers, they need to be paid more.
only next to when he says, "Ben." You remember? You remember that when he's up on the platform and he sees Kylo Ren and he goes, "Ben, Ben."
Yeah.
I
No, I
always
remember
I
that.
always thought that was one
That
of the
was so
fun.
sad.
It was so sad.
What happens, and we're not going to talk about
Yeah, we
that.
won't because
But
that's an actual spoiler. So okay, I think this is your
what happened
final.
was the lightsaber exploded, and the world was ended, and everything was happy. So that's what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, all right. What's your final? Don't let it be another comic book universe, or you can have it be another comic book universe. I don't care. What's your final fictional universe that you'd love to be in?
Variant. No, not really. That's another. That's like the third biggest comic book industry. It's where they got like the guy with the exoscoot and the Eternal Warrior and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And like a Bloodshot. They got a lot of cool characters. Anyways, something that's not comic book. I'm really into comic books, and you know this. Borderlands, the Borderlands universe, dude. Because that is the
Really?
coolest, most BA universe of all freaking time, dude.
That is pretty
Seriously.
cool. That is pretty
All you
cool.
have to do is have guts, and then you'd be like guts and a gun that can actually do some decent damage, and then you just like destroy everything, and life's great. But yeah, Borderlands.
That is true. Okay, let's just go through a couple honorable mentions since we got a little bit of time. We won't give reasons for these. We'll just
Sure.
give little, ones that off the top of our head. Rocky comes to mind
Yeah.
because I mean it's basically anything can be won through training. That's basically the premise is that if you believe you'll win, then you will, and you train, then you will.
Yeah, which isn't how real life works. You get better, but you might not win.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
Force, oh, dude. Based off of a true story, obviously.
Yeah, but Forrest Gump would be awesome if like think about it, right? Someone like Forrest Gump can do all that stuff. Then think about what like a normal person, like an average person could do. Like they could become like anything just by saying okay. Because that's
I'm gonna
basically
start running.
yeah. If there was from
That
that
was
point
great, by
on,
the way. At the end of that movie, everyone stops. He stops, so everyone stops, and they look at him like he's like they're his uh, disciples, and they look at him and they're like, "What?"
oh
And he's like, "I'm tired. I'm gonna go
yeah,
home."
and they're like, oh my god, like because think about this, they've never seen him speak before. It like you think about that, most of them probably just like he's basically a cult leader at that point. That's basically what it is. I
Pretty
mean,
much.
he's just, and then it's like, oh my gosh, the wise one speaks. I mean, it shows that they think of him as being very important because he's all alone up front, and they're all in the
Right.
back. Um,
Right. I mean,
there's
they had that coming though. They're thinking just an ordinary guy, it's like freaking
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Oh gosh, there was one that I was thinking where if you just, oh yeah, Braveheart.
Oh yeah. Just because you'd want to yell really loud. What's the quote from that
They
movie?
may
It's
not,
like
they
super
may
big.
take our lives, but they will not
It's
take our freedom.
freedom. Yeah, that was great, dude.
That was really great. I love that movie. We'll review that movie at some
All
point.
right, so
Yeah.
another.
What?
We're good on time, by the way.
Okay. You got any ideas? I feel like there's a ton. There's a ton that would be really great.
Mm. There's
Um,
yeah, our minds just are like scratching the surface of it.
I don't. I wouldn't want to be in The Godfather. Would you?
Maybe I'd want to be the Godfather if I was in the movie The Godfather.
But
And
then
yes, I know
you're.
he dies. I just
But
want.
but then you're
I know.
also, dude. You just
I
people
know.
would so get so mad
Then
that you
I'm the
spoiled
Godfather.
that movie,
People would listen to me. They respect me. They respect me.
dude. I gotta say, I love the opening of The Godfather. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie itself, primarily because it's not my style of movie. But the opening of that movie, dude, is so powerful. Where it's that dude just saying, "Hey, will you help me kill these two guys?" And he's like, "Now, if you had come to me as a friend, then I would have said yes. But since you came here offering money and not as a friend, then the answer would be no." And it's just so much like unspoken words in it, like so many things they're
Right.
saying they don't have to speak out loud, and it's a real, real show of how you don't need to just speak the plot and what the characters are thinking in a movie. You don't like that's what you have to do in a book. In a book, you have to say what a person is thinking because they don't have any other way of knowing.
You can give body language basically, but by describing what's happening. But you have to be very descriptive to for writing a book, which is extremely difficult, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
I mean,
respect authors so
there's
much.
challenges both in making a movie and making a book, and I'm sure some people will prefer making a book versus and some people prefer writing a movie. Um, Technical difficulties. Um,
I'm back.
any
Yep.
oh, okay, we were both gone. Um, any ideas that you can think of?
Um,
I feel like there's plenty.
have
There's
you ever seen the TV show Blue Mountain State?
I have not seen that.
Okay, so well, you probably haven't because it's bad, but it's
Ah,
funny. That's why I like it.
oh,
Basically, it's college and yeah, it's the college football team, and they're insane, and it's the funniest show I've ever watched.
okay. What
And
about
well, at least
I?
one of them.
All right, I got two. Now this first one could be either horrible or awesome. X Files.
Okay. Okay.
What do you
I'm not
think?
gonna comment on it, but
Would
okay.
that, but do you think that would be
I
good or
think we're up
bad?
on time, so we shouldn't comment on that. I think we're up on time.
Why should we not comment on that? Or do you hate X Files?
Just because I'm gonna just keep this.
You hate. Oh my gosh, you hate X Files, don't you? How do you not like X Files? X Files is
I never
awesome.
said that.
You've
You're
never
putting words in my
you've
mouth.
never seen it.
I'm gonna end the call now.
Tell the truth.
Do the outro. Do the
Tell the
outro.
truth. Nope, nope, nope. You're gonna
Here's the
listen,
deal. Let me
listen,
explain. If I
listen.
say I hate it, you're like your opinion's stupid and I don't respect it. If I say I've never seen it, then you're gonna be like, oh, what? What have you been living under a rock?
What?
Because that's
Okay,
what you always do. So
think about
do the
this.
outro.
No, no. You know
Let
what?
the
Think about this.
fans know
Think about this.
everything's
Okay.
great.
Think about this. If you don't answer, then they'll assume that it can be both. That you hate it and you haven't seen it. Then you'll get double the amount of hate.
Or they could just understand that I don't want to answer the question.
No one does that. No one.
Okay. Do the outro so I can say goodbye.
Fine, ladies and gents. I am your host, Teddy W. Jenkins, and thank you for joining us this evening. With me, as always, was my co-host, Slow Spawn. Thank you for watching.
Yes, I stalk him. I'm everywhere. Goodbye.
Goodbye.